Hey guys, it's Dave, the Mindful Fly Fisherman. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is making bone and vegetable broth. I'm Hungarian, and I remember on Saturday mornings my beautiful mum would make chicken soup. It was just a ritual in our household. It's called csirke leves in Hungarian, and I used to love it. The smell would waft up, and mum, can I have some chicken soup? And mum would say, what does it need, son? And so if you want your kids to be good cooks, I really encourage you to get them to taste test, and that will really get them involved working with food. So thank you, Mum. That was a wonderful thing you gave me, and I want to carry this on, and I've actually made an effort with our family to do the same thing. And there have been times where my girls have run downstairs and said, what's cooking? And I'd say bone broth, and yeah, you know. The reason why I wanted to do this today is I wanted to give you, if you're a parent today, I wanted to give you something that fussy children really would enjoy, and maybe you relate to this scene.
There's no food. There's no food.
No food? No food? I feel like doing a John Cleese. If that's you, I feel your pain, but I think I have a solution for you today. So today we're making venison bone broth, venison and vegetable bone broth, I should say, and you can use beef marrow bones in place. Any bones, it is a bone broth, especially the joints. That's what we're after, because that's where all the goodness is. So here we go. I'll show you how it's made. Good, Mitzi. I'm going to be making this bone broth with venison bones. However, most commonly people use beef marrow bones, and they are a fantastic source of bones for bone broth. And the reason that is because you're getting all the different types of collagen. Collagen is really, really important for your body. It's important for your skin. It's important for your nails. It's important for your hair. In fact, a huge amount of your body is collagen. So it's really important, and also for your joints. So today, this recipe is going to be teenager approved, okay? And I'm going to show you a few tips, tricks, and hacks to make it teenager approved. And I've run this by people who are throwing out chicken carcasses, and all of a sudden they started using that, and it's just added another dimension to their family diet, and something that is a bit of another nourishing transition. It's tradition. Really tasty, super easy, and it's going to be ready. The prep time is 15 minutes, really quick once you have everything ready. So we're going to get a few ingredients together and we'll be back.
Meaty. Oh yes. Oh yes.
So we've got some nice big bits. Yep. Store-bought celery is also okay. The minerals are in the leaves and the carbohydrates are in the stem. So just bear that in mind. Gives you a lovely garden. Oh, blows your head off. Now for some parsley. Just got some, my potatoes were there. Okay, we'll just get some of that. I'm just going through, these were my beans, they're gone. But I've frozen them for the winter months, which is really exciting. So I'm gonna eat my beans. Had a big tomato crop as well. So plenty of that.
Don't stay still for the camera, do you, Mitzi? Oh.
We are the first generation that bone broth is not a staple part of our diet, and that's really, really sad. In Europe, ancient cultures all across the board, bone broth they intuitively knew that there was value and inherent goodness in the bones. So it's really a return to the essence of goodness in our food. And we really need bones because all the cartilage, everything around it, is what sustains the animal for good health, and that goes into your body because it's very, very soluble, and it's also very, very good for the gut. So this will take 15 minutes, okay? So once you've got everything, this is a really, really quick dish, and I'm gonna let you in on a secret. It's fantastic for breakfast meals for kids. Some kids naturally just love bone broth. Some of them will love the carrots in it, some of them will love the onion, some will love the celery. So just make sure you don't have super big chunks like that. People eat with their eyes and their nose, and you know, not just their mouth. So put things in a way that is going to look really, really appealing. Just like when you're making a salad, you don't have half a cucumber in the salad. because no one's going to eat that. But put it in a way with a little bit of love and they'll really, really enjoy it. The other thing is, I get to cook food, I don't have to cook food. So there's a big difference. The way you approach it very much determines, you can almost taste it in the meal. That's my firm belief. The intent behind it, you can sort of taste if there's a bit of love in the food. So put a bit of love in the food, really be there, be mindful to be there, and that's really, really important. So today, it's really, really simple. I've just washed our celery. I've washed everything. You'll need celery, carrots, and onions. I'm not going to give you a hard and fast rule of how much. A kilo of bones, a few onions, some carrots. After a while, you'll actually work with your family or yourself, and you'll just know exactly what works. It's or your partner or whatever. You'll actually pick up on what you need. You'll need a pot, some water, and now a few little hacks. First of all, I really like using a good quality salt. I like Celtic salt. Now, the reason why I use Celtic salt is it has something like 80 minerals in it. We are magnesium deprived in our diets. Magnesium is important for numerous functions in your body. So get Celtic salt, that's a crushed one, that's a fine salt, or you can get one that's more a rock sort of salt. But Celtic salt is an amazing salt to use. Or if you've got Himalayan salt, just use Himalayan salt. I really recommend you use a good quality salt. The other thing you'll need is some white pepper. So white pepper is an amazing thing. Not too much, because again, with the kids, you'll find that too much pepper, or anybody, if you're wanting to serve it up for people, you can go overboard with pepper. You'll know it immediately and think, oh, I've done it again, because I tend to overdo things sometimes. I don't mean it. Now, a little hack for you. I find that sometimes soups without an additional stock can be a little bit bland, and especially with children, teenagers, or if you want something to really have that extra zing, I recommend a vegetable stock. Now, some people decry that that's not purist. That's fine, I totally get that, and sometimes I cook without it, but sometimes for people I use this vegetable stock. I use this Massel product. It doesn't have MSG, so just read the back of it. If you're happy with that, it's a pretty cool product, and I use that, and I just find that really brings out the zing. And we've had lots and lots of teenagers in this house, and they've actually really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, just a little bit of a thing if you want to make the soup as palatable for everybody in the family as possible in your household. Just bear that in mind. Okay, first step is put the bones in the pot, obviously, so that's step number 1. Secondly, we put our carrots in. Now, this is actually a really good size, and I find that once it's fully cooked, they'll maintain their texture. They'll be nice and slightly chewy to the bite, which is really good. So people typically like this, and it looks really, really good in a bowl. Next, we put our onions in. Now, just peeled and halved are fine, or you can even quarter them. That's okay. But I found over time, my experience is people don't mind onions a bit bigger, but halved is absolutely fine. There we go. Again, red or brown onions makes no difference. It's all fine. And I have my absolutely beautiful parsley and celery. And if only you could be here and smell how good this is. Honestly, if you could actually grow parsley yourself, quite easy. It really pays you back. And you get 2 years out of your plants as long as you stop them from growing a seed. So this smells amazing. Now we're going to add water, and we're going to add our salt. I'm going to use Celtic salt, Celtic sea salt. I'm going to use a little bit of the Massel, and we're going to use a little bit of pepper. You must fill it at least a few inches above it. The reason is you're making broth, so you want to put as much water in there as possible and balance that with how much flavour you're going to get. So you're not going to put a 10 or 20 litre pot with only a few vegetables. You've got to have a good ratio, so you're going to get plenty of flavour. So as a rule, a couple of inches above everything that you've put in there is a pretty good guide, I guess, because there's a lot of space between all of the ingredients, so you're going to have a lot of water in there, and the aim is to make broth. This is what the bone broth looks like after about 12 hours. So we're still going, so it gets a bit more brown, And first few hours it's green because of the vegetables, but the veggies really balance out the meat because the meat flavour's not pungent, but it's strong, yet subtle. It's an interesting taste. So the veggies, especially the onions, really round out the flavour. And with that massel, that vegetable stock, just makes it really cool. So I'll show you. Okay everyone, this is what my daughter had for breakfast, first day back at school. I knew she was going to have the carrots, a little bit of onion, and lots of meat off the shank sections. It's become nice and super duper tender. It's really, really nice. Great way to start the day. What really works well with this is a little bit of parsley. Just makes it look beautiful, and parsley, fresh parsley, is super duper good for you. And if you can grow it, even better. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Mindful Fly Fisherman. We've had lots and lots of fun. Just a few little tips that I may not have covered or would have covered here and there. Really, the goodness starts happening at around about 20 hours. As the broth gets more and more brown, that shows that really good stuff's coming out of the bones. And also with marrow bones, especially the stuff with the joints, remember that's the important thing. The marrow and the really starts breaking down, and it comes out into the soup. And you'll find if you've got kids, some of your kids will just lap that up. And that's a really, really good thing to see, because they're ingesting into their body the essence of goodness. That's number one. Number two, so really 20 hours, aim for 20 hours minimum. The other thing is make bone broth the foundation of other dishes in your household. So you can use the broth and add other things to it. You know, you can just blanch vegetables in it and just enjoy it. It's very, very easy on your gut, and just, you know, it's a beautiful thing. If you wanted to add noodles and potatoes to it, things like that, do not add it to the whole mixture. Take a little bit of the broth out into a small pot and then do your potatoes and the noodles, because they will just boil and go to mush if you leave it for a long time. You'll learn that the painful way if you do that, and if I can save you some pain, that is a very, very good thing. Fantastic to see you. Thanks for joining us, and please feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.